Hey everybody! Welcome back to Northernlion Plays Dark Souls 2 Clerical Terror! You've made a grave clerical terror. It doesn't really make any sense. So before we do what I want to do, again, mouse pointer, I can move it, but it always defaults to the same position on the screen when I go back to menus anyway, because From Software PC port. The PC port is actually pretty good. That's just one of, I mean, it's good that we can complain about that as opposed to some other things, I suppose. So, we are probably going to go fight against the... You know what? We'll do Old Dragon Slayer first, just because this isn't a speed run. Then we'll go up against the Pursuer. So, before I go up against Old Dragon Slayer, I would, well, first things first, I should definitely upgrade my Estus Flask. I could get to the 4th level of Estus, but it's not integral at this moment. So, I'll go to explore the mansion a little bit later. We're going to level up our Dex to level 10. We're going to want to eventually be higher than that. And we'll pump up Endurance a little bit as well. So what this will allow me to do is be Ultimate Scum, and instead of being primarily a caster, now I can put the Hydonite Shield, or sorry, Hydonite Sword on, and also the Crimson Parma, which will actually allow me to, you know, wield a weapon and a shield at this moment, which is important. Now, the Parma is not going to block 100% physical damage. I actually believe that it only blocks 75. So even if we block an attack, 25% of its damage will get through, which is a pretty sizable amount, to be honest with you. That being said, it should work out just fine for us. Give it a second here. Just want to see how much damage we're dealing here. It's actually substantially less damage than the mace, but this will scale with our faith stat, which I think makes it better, maybe, eventually. Maybe I've made a terrible error and the Hydonite Sword is actually god-awful. I don't think that's the case, but I might be mistaken. What we are going to do, maybe it's just because those foes are armored, but you know what? So is the Old Dragon Slayer. So we'll roll, we can't use the mace effect. I should have upgraded whatever stats would allow me to one-hand the mace, but we're doing fine with it two-handed anyway. I am adamant that eventually the Hydonite Sword will actually be the better weapon for us. I mean, if I wanted to go for a sword that was guaranteed to be okay, I should have probably just gone for the Fire Long Sword that you get in Forest of the Fallen Giants, but I always find going down there to be super tedious, and it's not really my style, even though I know a lot of people swear by it. We might as well use our Lightning Spears pretty much right now, to be honest with you, because there's no way we're going to use them against the Old Dragon Slayer, as he is strong against lightning. So we're just going to roll out of the way here. And if we're lucky, which apparently we're not, if we're lucky, we might be able to kill this guy before those other knights actually make their way over here. And that would allow me to actually activate the bridge ASAP. Doesn't appear like that's going to be possible, though. So we'll wait for this guy to get close, and he'll do his attacks, which will allow me to do something along those lines. Oh, okay. I got very lucky to actually dodge out of the way of that one, I suppose. And let's try... Oh! 2 of them are on me. This is where lion strats go bad. No! My first death. Well, it had to happen at some point. I'm disappointed that it happened here. I'm going to be honest with you, I think that actually is the first time I've ever died in that area. It is one of those areas, oh, get ready for the greatest loading screen of all time. Look, it takes like 2 seconds. I will admit that I've gotten close to dying there a couple of times in the past, but it's fairly typical for that area to be totally fine. If I actually had the spell scope, the binoculars as they were, I would probably be able to do a little bit better, but whatever. Not a big deal. I wonder if that bridge pop-up will be there right away, or if I'll have to murder that old knight first. We'll see. I think he's like, I'm not trying to be derisive. I believe that the name of this unit is actually Old Knight, so... Because when you get one of their items, it's called like Old Knight Sword, Old Knight Shield, etc., etc. And they're very brittle, not very durable. And it is just popped up right from the beginning, which means I should just be able to go through here. I'm disappointed in myself for dying in that way. That's okay, though. Shit happens. Could you be any slower at pulling a simple lever? Like, it's the most basic machine in humankind. We'll run up here now, and I'll take the Parma out, even though I don't know how effective it's going to be. It might just be more effective to dodge. I mean, the Old Dragon Slayer is not a very difficult boss fight, but I don't know. The main reason I wanted to do this, by the way, is because I knew I was going to die in the future, so I wanted to get the Ring of Binding. Ring of Binding is a pretty integral item to my success, because it basically nullifies the first 2 deaths that you get with respect to causing your health to go down. So it's an important item to wear. It also applies retroactively, by the way. Actually, you know what? We're not even going to be able to use the mace one-handed, so I might as well I might as well just keep it two-handed and go to town on Ornstein like this, and we're probably going to take damage out the wazoo because I have no shield active. Because I can't use the mace one-handed anyway, I don't really have much choice in the matter, to be honest with you. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. I was hoping to stagger him. That'll allow us to get one more hit in there. Still got to be very cautious about things. I've done this boss fight many a time now. Still pays to be prudent, though. And we can fire some lightning spears on him. I think he's not weak to lightning. Or sorry, not immune to lightning. I think he's like strong against dark now. So if we actually could use some lightning spears, that might be very important. But, you know, we could also just bash him in the face a couple of times with our mace here. Bash in the face with a big old mace, waving your lance all over the place. Saying, we are Dark Souls. That's really the best I can do, and I apologize for that. And again, fairly standard, you know, Dark Souls against a dude or lady who gets up in your face tactics here. We're pretty much just going to keep it cool, circle around, and every couple of hits that we land here will be effective. That's going to be our unit of measurement. Oh, get out of the way. I think it's okay to use Estus here. I just don't want to get one shot, basically. So I'm keeping myself as close to full health as possible. And my hope is that we can always use life gems if things get a little scary. They're not looking too scary right now, though. He actually gets a little bit of a defensive boost during that attack. So that sucks, but... Oh, run out of the way of that one. That was really close. The camera kind of screwed me up a little bit there, but it ended up working out just fine. Luckily, those columns on the ground are completely superficial. There we go. I thought maybe we'd stun him again. Lucky me. Let's try this again, old Dragon Slayer. Take it from this old Dragon Slayer. If you want to kill 100 Smos, you know... Anyway. Older Reddit joke. Back when Reddit was still bad, but I was younger, so it made more sense. Well, probably shouldn't have run in this direction, but... You know, if you're going through hell, keep going. We're almost done with the old Dragon Slayer fight here. This is one of the easier fights in the game, I would say. Also, I mean, one of the coolest from a lore standpoint, I guess, no matter what kind of context you take from this. Some people think this is you fighting like a reincarnated version of Ornstein. Some people think there's multiple Dragon Slayers, and that's what this is kind of implying. I don't really know where I fall. I would maybe go for a reincarnated version of Ornstein, given that... he drops the Leo ring. But the most important thing for us there was to definitely get the Ring of Binding. And while we're there, why not fight the boss, snag a decent number of souls as well. And there is a 100% physical block shield here. It's just not really feasible for us to use it because it requires 30 strength. Whereas we can just get the Drangleic shield, and the Drangleic shield will be a 100% physical block shield that only requires 16 strength, which is more viable and probably the shield that I'm going to end up using for the entirety of the game. So there's another boss down. We'll travel back to Majula. I have to admit, a little disappointed that I took damage. Or not took damage. So yeah, taking damage is fairly normal in Dark Souls, but a little bit disappointed that I died there. I just want to take a quick look and... what is our mace requirements? 12 strength. I literally have like 11. Hydonite sword gives us that extra lightning damage, but maybe it's not worth it. So yeah, we need 12 strength, so let's buff that up a little bit. And we're going to need more than that, so we might as well just get up to 16 strength if possible. And it will be possible. And we could pump our faith stat a little bit more, but I'm actually going to pump dex a little bit more. Just so, I know we're a cleric, but just so I can... use that Drangleic sword maybe as well, because I'm not really happy with the way the Hydonite sword is working out. Oh, hello, bearded man who looks exactly like me apart from the beard. Or, well, yeah, there's a couple of other things going on there too, I guess. I mean, we could put more armor on now. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Knight Iron Mask is a pretty popular one, and there we go. So at least we have a little bit more extra defense right now. So, dare we go fight the Pursuer? I think it's not the worst idea in the world, so... Let's get that done. The Pursuer is kind of the back way of getting to the Ruin Sentinels fight. I forget what the area is called. The Lost Bastille, that's what it is. So this is the way that you would go if you don't want to go through No Man's Wharf. They both have positives and negatives. I prefer going this way because instead of having to deal with like one whole area, which is a little bit cumbersome, instead you just have to deal with one boss fight, which is not an easy boss fight. The Pursuer is probably going to be the most difficult boss fight that we've had so far, but it is just a, you know, sword and shield type enemy, so the fairly standard strategy of just running around him works totally fine. After this, it would probably be a smart idea to start talking to our blacksmith, getting our blacksmith to actually do something for us, because our mace is good, but it's not going to carry us through the game at level 0. It could, but it's not going to because I'm not good enough. I need a little bit more leeway, I would say. So let's go fight the Pursuer here. I didn't fight him in my other series, so I actually will let the cutscene play. I know it seems disjointed, but whatever, just enjoy it. The Pursuer's a pretty sweet boss fight. I hope the music doesn't get too super loud here. Pursuer's yeah, he's a cool boss and a cool boss fight. I like him anyway. And I'm gonna Estus up quickly because I already took damage. Not a good sign. As I understand it, the standard MO for dealing with him is largely to have a summon, like, use one of these ballistas, and that will allow, ballistae probably how it's, because I guess it's maybe Latin, I don't know. And then if you hit him, I don't know if he gets one shot, but he takes an awful lot of damage from taking a big old arrow to the face, as you might expect. So, it's not the most difficult boss fight in the game, but he is, he's going to be the trickiest one we faced so far, by far. We've got to keep our stamina up, and perhaps most importantly, just have to make sure I am using my shield effectively, because even though it is only 75% block power, that's important. 75% block power is definitely more than 0, and each one of those shots that hits me at 0 is going to do an awful lot. So, oh, yeah, that's what I was worried about here. So, cool. Pop that Radiant Life Gem, probably going to die. There we go, okay. Where did I go wrong there? I went very wrong by using the Radiant Life Gem instead of the Estus Flask. And also, if you roll in the other direction on the Pursuer fight, when he does that kind of side swipe, you stand a much greater chance of not getting hit, whereas I got hit by it. So, that was a little bit of a, you know, ill-advised opportunity, or opportunity lost for me, I should say there. But we're going to be able to fight him multiple times. So much for my no-death run. You know, there is an achievement, maybe not an achievement, but you definitely get a reward for completing a no-death and or a no-bonfire run. It makes your right-hand weapon and left-hand weapon invisible. You get 1 ring for each, I should say. Which would be really cool for PvP. I hope it doesn't just get, like, hacked to shit on PC, because that'll be super annoying. But I think that, believe it or not, that no-bonfire run is actually doable for me. The no-death run, probably extremely unlikely, but I imagine you just play super cautiously and, like, farm like crazy, which is not really my style in Dark Souls to begin with. Alright, so you can also take out a lot of the Pursuer's health as a cleric just by doing that right off the bat, and that has now gotten him down to like 1/3. See, this is the thing. There's an easy way to get around his getting hit by that combo there. I don't do it though. Like, that's every time I get hit by that swing. Oh, not that time, but I get hit by the shield instead. So let's Estus up quickly. We can maybe use the lightning spear a little bit more prodigiously. I'm very disappointed in myself right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. We may have to back off of this Pursuer fight for now and move on to something else instead. But it's also possible that, you know, why don't we for once actually enjoy the fact that we're clerics and... Oh, I hit the button to use Estus there, I swear to God. Nope, not again. Oh, snap, that was close. That was not close. I got hit there and deserved to. That is gonna kill me. Holy crap, I am having a very bad time against the Pursuer here. The curse is actually gonna lower my health drastically. I might use a human effigy. I'm not gonna heal, or sorry, I'm not gonna summon anybody. But I am disappointed with myself. This is what I get for trying to sprint through the game at a breakneck pace, I suppose. But really, once we get that Drangleg Shield from beating him, he's going to be the last major obstacle we're going to have for quite some time. So, I'm using a human effigy, not to make my life easier necessarily, but to get my health back to full, and we'll try this again. At least, although we're dying pretty quickly, so there is that. And, maybe instead of using the mace, I'll try out using the Hide-a-Night sword. it lowers our damage by like 45, then raises it by 50 in the lightning category. But it's also weaker against armored foes than the mace is. The mace is very strong against armored foes, which I think is maybe the way we should do things. Or what we could also do is like two-hand our shield. Oh, that was so stupid of me to actually get caught by that. We could two-hand our shield, which might give me a greater block chance, maybe. He's gonna catch me, huh? Well, alright, we'll do it this way. And then whenever he's done with an attack, we could just switch to our chime here, but if I die again, I might just go in an alternate direction, but I mean, the only other alternate direction to go is, unfortunately, into No Man's Wharf, which I've done many a time, but would not necessarily recommend. Hey, this does a decent amount of damage, I would say. Come on. Alright, so I'm gonna get my chime out. And that's a good period for me to have time to cast that. It looks like it only does 78 damage. That's obviously a goddamn lie. I think it's like 78 lightning damage and like more physical damage. That was very close to me taking damage there. That's the problem with being a caster, is you do put yourself at the whim of the casting time. But this fight's going pretty well. I'm gonna take out my sword this time. And just don't get hit in the dumbest way possible. If we get him to do that 3-hit combo, which he did right there, we have a chance to Estus. Oh man, my stamina was low, and that presented a risk there. Should probably just stick with the lightning spear, but the thing is, it's a risk-reward thing. Ooh, back it up. Oh, that was stupid of me. I say it's a risk-reward thing because the cast time is so long, but obviously the damage is incredible as well. But mostly at this point, I just don't want to get caught. If I get caught, that's where I lose. If I don't get caught, that's where the money gets made. And we're very, very close to finishing this off. I might switch to the lightning spear now, because it's basically just one attack away from winning if I can just hit him. And there we go. So that was, you know, how not to beat the Pursuer in 12 different tries. That's fine. We got the Ring of Blades, which is going to raise our physical damage a little bit. And that's a load off my shoulder. Yes, we could use the Leo ring. It's probably a good idea, but it's not a very good way. Okay, almost missed out on all the stuff here. So the sword, shield, and armor is here. The armor is really heavy, but the shield, well, the shield's really heavy too, but it's also very important. So that gives us 100% physical block, which is not essential for my success, but as you can probably guess from how I did at the start of this, is pretty important for my success. So this will now allow us to go to the Lost Bastille. We will throw some lightning spears in here. We could just run through it. We probably should just run through it. But there's too many of them. So if possible, I would at least like to clear a path. And we have 17,000 souls. So we might go back to Majula and level up kind of quickly before we really try to do anything on the Lost Bastille. But I'm glad that... Is there another dude here chasing us down? There is, because we fought him before. I'm very glad, though, that we did at least manage to beat the Pursuer. Things are not looking good for a while there. He's actually not that difficult. I just kind of bunged it up. But shit happens, right? Notice there is a giant memory here. Not a giant memory. That's... You're going to have to go to a different website for that. Just try putting something logical at the end of you instead of tube, and you'll figure it out. I don't know if I've ever seen that magic stone before, actually. Maybe it's just I'm paying attention to loading screens and not going to get a drink because they don't take 25 minutes anymore. So we're going to head back to Majula, and we're going to level up a little bit more. I want to be able to use the Dranglaic sword. It's a little bit of a cheesy weapon, but after we get our Dranglaic sword up, we don't have to worry about pumping stats in anything but faith for the rest of the game. So even though it looks like I'm not doing a really faith-based run right now, I am. But just first, we're doing this. So we're going to level up. We need 25 strength. Not even close. We got up to 21 there. We could pop some boss souls. I think that would probably annoy the shit out of people, though, so why don't we just bide our time instead? I mean, we're fine with the stuff we've got going on here. We'll pop a few of these. And we'll pop a few of these. Having this extra strength is also nice to improve our damage a little bit. We'll probably be able to get like 1 or 2 more levels here. We'll see. 1 more level. Okay, put that in Dex, because why not? And again, I can't stress enough, this is not like a min-maxed glass cannon cleric build. This is like a punch you in the face and then throw a lightning spear at your goddamn skull cleric build. So your again, your mileage may vary with respect to that. We're going to maybe keep going here. Maybe try to fight the Ruined Sentinels once. It's not an easy boss fight, and in fact, it will probably be more difficult than the Pursuer boss fight. But we can do it regardless. So, with my 100%... Oh, I always forget about that second attack. With that 100% physical block shield, though, I thought maybe we could do a backstab on this guy, but I guess he's just too big. Yeah. We'll just pop a life gem to atone for earlier mistakes. And we will encounter Lucatiel here. We can't summon Lucatiel for this boss fight, but we will definitely summon Pilgrim Belclair. Just makes the Ruined Sentinels an awful lot easier. So we'll just keep this up, and this will hit the next phase of the Lucatiel fight, or Lucatiel quest, I guess.
I don't hesitate.
Alright. Now, this is the part where people get mad at me, because this is like an ultimate Lion Strat area. This and Sinner's Rise are probably the areas in the game, or among the areas in the game where I Lion Strat the most. If you want to see me not Lion Strat, stay tuned for like episode 9, where I do Shrine of Amana. But this area is very Lion Stratable, and it's important to do it here, because otherwise this is a pretty dangerous place. So this is where I'll probably end up using a lot of my lightning spears. So just run away. Sometimes these guys aggro, sometimes they don't. So what we're going to do is just wait. And we'll wait for them to possibly come up. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I think I hear footsteps. I hear shambling. I don't think they're going to come up. They would have been up by now. So we're just going to quickly summon Pilgrim Belclair, then leave. And sometimes they aggro after you summon Pilgrim Belclair. Sometimes not, I guess. Pilgrim Belclair, not the best AI summon in the game. But she, I think it's a she, is up there, for sure. Jester Thomas, by far the best. But Pilgrim Belclair is, you know, top tier. Up there with, like, Ashen Knight Boyd, too. Who I originally thought was actually awful, but turns out is amazing for Duke's Tear Freya. Alright, so, again, 100% physical block shield really ups the doability of this fight early on here. So, we are using all of our stamina. All we need is enough stamina to block and not get staggered. Pilgrim Belclair doing an F-ton of damage. All by her lonesome. Well, not all by her lonesome, I would say. Alright, Pilgrim Belclair, don't follow. Don't chase. It's Dota in a nutshell. Just play cool. Wait for the Ruined Sentinel to come back up. You're gonna get hit like crazy. Oh my god, Pilgrim Belclair. Pilgrim Belclair usually gets hit so fucking much. So now we take advantage of the... Yeah, never mind. We're not going to be able to throw lightning spears. Oh, never mind. We are going to be able to throw lightning spears because Pilgrim Belclair is an idiot, apparently. So we're just going to... I mean, ideally, our best case scenario here is take the aggro. But truth be told, Pilgrim Belclair is pretty terrible at, like, 1v1ing. So it's actually in our best interest, I'd say, to maybe fight them one-on-one, and we'll just try to kill one of the Ruined Sentinels. Oh, that's never going to hit. I was just going to say we'll try to kill one of the Ruined Sentinels before Pilgrim Belclair dies, which is of dubious doability, which is my new favorite phrase. But it looks like this one will go down with one more cast of Lightning Spear, which is good because that was our last cast. And now I can just take the aggro. Oh, be smart here. Now I can just take the aggro, and Pilgrim Belclair can do some magic attacks. But if I can get the aggro, then this fight is basically over. Ruined Sentinels are a big obstacle for a lot of people, myself included. And hopefully I've atoned for my earlier mistakes in that Pursuer fight by at least being competent against the Ruined Sentinels here. I mean, I have done this fight 100 times, so I think it makes sense that we did okay there. So thank you very much, Pilgrim Belclair. You were a big help. We're going to take the Ruined Sentinel soul, and we're up to... You don't need to fire that shit anymore, Belclair. We're up to 26,000 souls, which gets us a little bit closer to being able to use that Drong Lake sword, which again is going to be a big part of our success in the future here. And just watch out for that. I think the game might be a little bit loud, but this is, you know, the game's like a Pixie song. It goes quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud. So we're going to head back to Majula, and that'll probably do it for this episode, but I will level up quickly. Again, if you've been enjoying the series, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more of Clerical Error. We're making very good progress here, and I plan on doing some invasions with this character after we finish. So, invasions, co-op, etc., etc. So we'll pump our strength up a little. Hey, there's 26 strength, and our dex is getting a little bit higher. I think we need 21 dex to be able to use the Drung Lake sword in one hand. 20 dex. Well, it's very tempting to pop some of those, but whatever. We'll be fine. As always, thanks for watching again. Appreciate your support of the series so far. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.